Good morning students and welcome on my YouTube channel, and you know that the name of my YouTube channel, see on the board, and please subscribe my YouTube channel because you get the more videos. So friends, in last lecture we had discussed about electrostatics and the first application and second application of Gauss law we are already determined due to the last lecture. So today we have discussed the third and remaining application of Gauss law, that is electric field due to a charge infinite plane sheet. Okay, so we can find out the electric field at a given point around the sphere, around the wire, and then after we have discussed about plane sheet. But then before we know that, actually as per our previous statement, now our whole lectures are divided between two sections. The first is revision and the second section will be the new point on the given chapter. And how many types of board questions are asking for the given point and how to prepare on your own notes. Now when we discuss about the Gauss law, their first, second and third application, now the same process to prepare our own notes and the same question pattern will be there. Only the sphere, get wire, it means cylinder, and simply the plane sheet. These three words are different, otherwise all the steps are clear, all the steps will be similar right now. So that's why today directly we are discuss about the third application of Gauss law, and this third application we are discuss here, electric field due to a charge infinite plane sheet. Okay, so let's discuss about the electric field. So but then before we can draw the diagram right now. So let's see, we can draw the diagram here. Let's consider it is a plane sheet having a uniform charge. This is uniformly positive charge. Clear? So it is a plane sheet having uniform charge of surface charge density sigma. So sigma is equal to what? Charge per unit area. Okay, so this is a plane sheet having a uniform charge of surface charge density sigma. So sigma is equal to Q upon A. So it means that we can find out Q. So Q is equal to sigma into A. Get clear? Okay, so we can find out the electric field intensity at the point P. So we can draw the here any one point P. We are consider any one point P. But actually when the positive charges will deposited on the surface of plane sheet, now electric field generate, and this electric field is perpendicular to the plane sheet. Let's see, this is a plane sheet and this electric field is generate perpendicular to the plane sheet. Let's see, imagine that it is a plane sheet. Let's see here, imagine that it is a plane sheet. Right now this is a plane sheet, and see this electric field will be generate. Okay, this electric field will be generated exactly perpendicular to the plane sheet, because we know that the total positive charges will be deposited on the surface of plane sheet. And when the positive charges will be deposited, so positive charge is always moving in outward direction towards the negative charge. It means that electric field develop and perpendicular to the plane sheet. So then after we can draw the any one point P and we can find out the electric field intensity at the given point P. But actually, but then before, it is very important, this positive charges will deposited on both sides of the plane sheet. So it means that as same as we can find out the electric field intensity at the point P on the front side of the sheet, and also the electric field, the same type of electric field produces in the backward side of the plane sheet. It means that the same electric field intensity will be produced here at the point of P dash. So we can find out the electric field intensity at the point P and at the point P dash. So this point P is on the separated distance R, okay, from the plane sheet, and the same distance will be here, that is R. Get clear? So it means that P and P dash will produce at the separated distance R plus R, that is 2R. Get clear? Okay, so let's see here. So when we find out the electric field intensity at the given point P, so what is, we know that first of all we can draw the Gaussian surface, and if we draw the Gaussian surface around the plane sheet, now simply the Gaussian surface is cylindrical as per the condition of Gaussian surface. And we know that the condition of Gaussian surface, now electric field is always perpendicular to the Gaussian surface. This is first condition. And the second important condition, we know that the electric field at every point of the Gaussian surface will be constant. It is exactly similar right now. So that's why the Gaussian surface is cylindrical when we draw due to the plane sheet. Right now we can draw the Gaussian surface here. So this is a Gaussian surface. This is cylindrical Gaussian surface we can draw here, having a very small area ds. And the same Gaussian surface we can draw on other side of the plane sheet. Get clear? And they also having a very small area ds. But actually we know that when the electric field produces, this electric field is also moving in outward direction. So it means that this electric field is always perpendicular to the Gaussian surface. And the same condition is that the electric field is also moving in outward direction right now. And we can observe the same, the direction of electric field and the area of smallest element is exactly similar. This is the direction of area of the smallest element. So this is our diagram. So the cylindrical pipes are indicate that this is Gaussian surface. Okay, this is the Gaussian surface on the both side of the plane sheet. So we can find out the electric field intensity at the point P or P dash. So first of all, we find out the total flux passing through the smallest area, and the total flux we find out they passing through the smallest area by using what we can use. So by using the Gauss law. Okay, by using the Gauss law. So we know that by using the Gauss law we can find out the net flux, and this net flux is equal to, we know that, denoted by Q upon epsilon naught. Call this equation number 1. So the first application of Gauss law and the second application of Gauss law we are already determined for the previous lectures, and the same technique to find out the electric field at any application according to the blue patch of your textbook on the first page of electrostatics. They indicate that first of all we can draw the diagram, then after we can find out the flux by using Gauss law, and then after we can find out total flux right now by using the definition of electric flux. So let's first of all we can find out the net flux by using the Gauss law. They passing through the smallest area right now. So actually the total positive charges will deposited on the cylinder right now on the Gaussian surface, and how many electric field produces, how many flux produces through these charges. So this flux will be denoted by using the Gauss law. So phi net, that is net flux, is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. But the total flux, okay, but the total flux due to a Gaussian surface, by using definition of electric flux, and we can find out this total flux, that is net flux, and this net flux is equal to, we know that we can find out the integration of E into ds. Okay, and their magnitude is denoted by integration of E ds cos theta, and we know that this theta is the angle between ds and E. And according to this diagram, it is very clear that ds and E on the same line. So it means that here theta is equal to 0 degree. And if theta is 0, so cos 0 is equal to 1. It means that we can find out the net flux is equal to integration of E into ds only. Get clear? So this is the flux. This is the total flux at the point of P, at a distance r from the plane sheet. But actually the same flux will produces on the backward side of the plane sheet at the point of P dash at the same distance r. Get clear? It means that as per the condition of Gaussian surface, the electric flux, the total electric field at the point of P and P dash is exactly similar right now. So it means that the same flux will be produces at the point of P dash. So it means that we can write 2 times the same equation at the point of P and at the point of P dash. So let's find out the net flux, and when we find out the net flux, so we can write here the net flux, okay, the net flux is equal to, let's see, the integration of E into ds, this is the total flux at the point of P, and plus the integration of E into ds at the point of P dash. This is the total flux. Okay, but actually we know that this E is the electric field, And electric field at every point on the Gaussian surface will be similar. It means that E is the constant and constants get outside the integration. So it means that we can find out the net flux is equal to, so E get outside and remaining integration of ds at the point of P. And plus the same concept will be here, E into integration of ds. Get clear? But what is meant by integration of ds? What is the integration of ds? So ds is the smallest area on the Gaussian surface, and integration of ds means what? The total surface area of the Gaussian surface, and this total surface area will be denoted by A. So it means that we can find out the net flux. Net flux is equal to E, integration of ds is called A, this is plus sign, A into integration of ds, that is A. It is very easy. Okay, so let's see here. Now the total flux we find out finally, EA plus EA, that is 2EA, and call the equation number 2. And observe the same equation number 1 and equation number 2. Okay, so this equation number 1 and 2 are indicate that the total flux passing through the smallest area or the Gaussian surface, that is net flux indicate. This is Gauss law and this is electric flux, the total flux. So that's why we can comparing equation 1 and 2. For the right hand side of the equation 1 and 2, this right hand side is also total flux and this right hand side is also total flux. So we can comparing equation 1 and 2. So what is equation number 1? So equation number 1, so you can write this, compare the equation 1 and 2. Okay, so we can compare equation number 1, that is Q upon epsilon naught right now, and the equation number 2, that is 2 times EA. Get clear? So according to this equation we can find out the E, because electric field intensity E is equal to what we get? We get Q upon 2A into epsilon naught. Okay, this 2A upon 2A into epsilon naught. Call equation number 3. And this equation number 3 is indicate that the electric field intensity at the point of P and P dash at the distance 2r. Okay, due to the plane sheet, infinite plane sheet. But actually we know that according to the surface charge density, sigma is equal to Q upon A, and we know that Q is equal to sigma into A. So put this value of Q, that is charge, in equation number 3. So what we get? So simply we get the electric field intensity, that is E, and this electric field intensity E is equal to, that is Q, and Q is equal to, we know that sigma into A, and divided by, we get 2A into epsilon naught. But according to this equation, so A get cancelled, and finally we find out the electric field intensity. So E is equal to sigma upon 2 into epsilon naught. So this is equation number 4, and this equation number 4 are indicate that the electric field intensity at the point of P and P dash at the distance 2r due to infinite plane sheet. Okay, it is very easy and it is very simple point, and this is our third application of Gauss law. So the first application, second application, and third application, these 3 applications we are discuss according to this technique right now. So we can revise this lecture. So how to write? If the board questions will ask on the same point, what is the electric field, or show that the electric flux due to a infinite plane sheet is sigma upon 2 epsilon naught, and otherwise what is the electric field intensity, what is the electric field due to a charge infinite plane sheet. So the simple answer, first of all we can draw this diagram. Okay, when we draw the diagram, so then after explain step by step. So what is the step? Let's see the first step. Consider it is a plane sheet having a uniform charge. Okay, consider it is a plane sheet having a uniform charge of surface charge density sigma. So sigma is equal to Q upon A, that is Q is equal to sigma into A. This is our first step. Second step, consider the point P. Consider point P, any one point P at a distance r from the plane sheet, and we find out the electric field at the point P. So we can draw the Gaussian surface. But then before, see, when we write the second step, consider the point P, okay, at a distance r from the plane sheet. We can observe the same when the positive charges is on the plane sheet. Now electric field is moving in outward direction and it is perpendicular to plane sheet. It is very important. Okay, electric field generate perpendicular to the plane sheet, and then after we can draw the Gaussian surface. Because we know that the electric field produces on the both side of the plane sheet, so that's why we can consider one another point P dash at the same distance r from the plane sheet. So we can find out the electric field intensity at the point P and P dash at the distance r plus r, that is 2r. So after that we can draw the Gaussian surface. So this is the Gaussian surface on two sides of the plane sheet. Okay, this is a Gaussian surface of very small area ds, having a small area ds. But we know that according to the condition of Gaussian surface, electric field is perpendicular to the Gaussian surface. Let's say this is the Gaussian surface and electric field is perpendicular. See, this is the direction of electric field on the both side of the plane sheet. Okay, and we can observe the same according to the diagram. Now the area and E on the same line. Their directions are similar. Okay, so then after, first of all, we can find out the electric field by using the total flux. We can find out the total flux by using Gauss law. So let's find out the total flux by using Gauss law, that is net flux is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So this is our equation number 1. And after that we can find out the total flux by using the Gaussian surface right now. And this total flux will be denoted by A into ds, we know that, and the magnitude A ds cos theta. But we can observe the same according to the diagram. E and ds on the same line, it means theta is 0, so cos 0 is equal to 1. And when cos 0 is equal to 1, so we find out integration of ds only, the net flux integration of ds. And this is the net flux. This equation indicates that the net flux at the point of P. But according to the condition, we know that the electric flux at the point P and P dash will be similar. So that's why we can write out the electric flux at the point P and the same electric flux at the point of P dash. So we find out the total flux, E get constant, get outside, integration of ds at the point of P plus integration E. So E get outside the integration, that is constant, remaining integration of ds at the point of P dash. But integration of ds, that is total surface area of the Gaussian surface. So integration of ds is equal to A, it means E into A plus E into A get remaining. EA plus A, finally we get 2 times EA. So this equation is very important because this equation is indicate that the net flux passing through the Gaussian surface. So that's why this is equation number 2. And this is equation number 1 is also indicate the net flux. So that's why we can compare the right hand side of the equation number 1 and 2. So let's see, this is equation number 1, this is the right hand side of equation number 1, and this is the right hand side of the equation number 2. And let's observe here, with the help of this we can find out directly E. So E is equal to Q upon 2A epsilon naught. But we know that as per the surface charge density, Q is equal to sigma into A, and with the help of this finally we can find out the electric field intensity at a point P and P dash at a distance 2r from the plane sheet, infinite plane sheet, and this is indicate E is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Clear? Okay, so I can rub this. So please note down this, and if you get any query, any problem, so please text me. Okay, so definitely I will try on my best to solve these problems right now. So note down this, so we can rub this. The next concept from this chapter, electric potential and potential energy. Now actually electric potential, okay, this term electric potential and the second term potential energy, these two terms are different. So what is the concept of potential energy? What is electrostatics potential energy? So when we get the total knowledge about potential energy, but then before we have discussed some important concepts, because the electrostatics potential energy is totally depends upon that concept. So that's why first of all, as per revision, we have discussed what is actual electrostatics potential energy. So but then before we have discussed what is actual work in the given system about a charge. Because we know that the simple concept, the like charges are repelled together and unlike charges are attract together. Okay, so this same concept we have discussed according to a system. What is system? So let's imagine that this is a system, any one system. Let's imagine, and between this system we are consider a charge Q. Okay, we are consider a charge Q. This is a positive charge. right now. And just imagine that there are one another charge, and that is minus q. There are two charges, and we are observe the same. These two charges are definitely, according to the Coulomb's force, they will attract, because this is unlike charges. This is positive and this is negative. So unlike charges are attract together through the force, and this force is called Coulomb's force. This concept we are already discussed according to the last lecture. Okay, but just imagine that this is a system right now, and between this system, let's imagine any one charge we are consider here, and we are consider any one charge q naught. This is positive charge, this is also positive charge, but this charge is denoted by q naught, that is unit charge. Okay, this is unit positive charge. Okay, this is unit positive charge. So why we take the unit positive charge? Because it is a very small charge. Okay, and their charge is like 1 coulomb right now. And what is the specification for unit positive charge? Now we know that actually this positive and this positive, there are two like charges. According to the Coulomb's force, these two like charges are repelled together. Right now these two charges will be repelled, but the q charge, okay, the q charge produces their own electric field in the surrounding region. Right now this unit positive charge is also produces the electric field in the surrounding region, but this unit positive charge, they cannot produces any effect for this q charge, positive q charge, capital Q charge. Okay, because it is very small. It means that this unit positive charge, when they situated in the system near to the positive capital Q charge, so simply it will be reflected, but they cannot produces any effect for the given charge. They becomes at rest. This is electrostatics. They becomes at rest. Okay, because this is very small charge. But actually the concept is here, when the unit positive charge is present in the given system, now this unit positive charge is interact with positive and also negative charge. It is very simple and easy concept. When this unit positive charge are interact with this, so it will be repelled. And when this unit positive charge is interact with negative, so negative and positive, simply it will be attracted. It means that they will be moving towards. But when this charge, unit positive charge, is moving towards the negative charge, now it will be attracted. Right now it will be normally attracted towards them. But actually here this positive charge, they produces the electric field in the given direction. This is electrostatic force. Okay, and this electrostatic force is given in the given direction. Right now they represent in the given direction. And through this negative charge, now their unit positive charge performing exactly work opposite to the electrostatic force. It means that when this unit positive charge is attracted towards this negative, now simply they performing work against this electrostatic force. And when they performing work exactly against the electrostatic force, now simply work has to be done. Right now, and this work done is restored in the form of potential energy. Okay, and this potential energy, actually we know that, just imagine that this q naught charge will be attracted towards them. Okay, this simply concept we are discussed according to here. Imagine that this is a q positive charge. Right now this negative charge is imaginary here. Just consider this is a positive charge q, and at a far distance imagine that this is unit positive charge like q naught. Now the distance between two charges will be denoted by small r from each other. Get clear? So this is initial distance like r1. It is very important. Now the initial distance between two charges will be denoted by r1. Okay. So what happened then after? There are two positive charges. It means that simply this unit positive charge will be repelled. But now here this negative charge will be present. Okay, through this negative charge, now this unit positive charge is normally attracted towards them. But just imagine that this unit positive charge will be attracted, and just they simply moving and reaches here. So imagine that this is initial position A and they reaches here. So this is denoted by their final position B. Right now, and they reaches at the distance R2 from their origin, and imagine that their origin will be denoted by O. Actually, this Q, positive Q produces electric field in the given direction. This is the electrostatics force and this is the direction of electrostatics force. But actually this Q naught is performing exactly opposite work to the electrostatics force right now, and they will be displaced through the displacement R1 to R2. Get, their initial position will be denoted by R1 from origin, and after their displacement their final position will be denoted by R2 from the origin. It means simply the Q naught unit positive charge will displace from R1 to R2, and when they displace, now they performing exactly opposite work to the electrostatics force. Okay, they performing exactly opposite work to the electrostatics force. So it means that, just imagine, this Q naught will be reaches here. When Q naught will be reaches here, now through the negative charge, okay, in the given system, through this negative charge it will be attracted and reaches at the final position B right now. But just imagine that this negative charge will be neglected. So what happen when the negative charge will be neglected here? Now simply this Q naught will be reflected through the electric force they produces by the charge Q. Get clear? It will be reflected. But when again the minus Q naught will be present here, now it will again attracted and reaches from A to B. Okay, and when they reaches at the point of B, the total energy will be restored there. The total energy will be restored for that unit positive charge Q naught. This restored energy is called potential energy right now. So imagine that they will be moving from A to again here at this point. So work will be maximum. Okay, work will be increases. So when the work increases, this unit positive charge reaches very close to the positive charge. Now the work will be maximum. It means that their potential energy is also maximum right now. So according to this concept, it is very clear that now when the unit positive charge, any one charge, they performing work exactly opposite to the electrostatics force, now simply their potential energy will be changed. It means that the total work done is exactly equal to the change in potential energy. So actually we know that as per the definition of potential energy, so potential energy is the restored energy. They will be restored on the object right now. So let's imagine that this marker is present on my hand. Okay, the energy will be restored, and this restored energy is called potential energy, because when my hand is removed, so marker is moving in downward direction. It means their potential energy converted into the kinetic energy. So simply the restored energy is called potential energy, and when we are discuss about their change in potential energy, so work is necessary. Okay, so work is essential. So work has to be done, so their potential energy will be changed. Imagine that this object will be moving from A to here. Work is very less, so there very less amount of potential energy will be changed right now. So it means that according to this total concept, it is very clear the definition of electric potential and simply the electrostatics potential energy. So electrostatics potential energy, let's discuss about the definition. Okay, electrostatics potential energy. Okay, electrostatics potential energy is the work. Okay, is the work but against the electrostatics force. Okay, so electrostatics potential energy is the work against the electrostatics force. So this is called potential energy. Get clear? The concept is clear? Actually this concept is very important, because after that, according to the chapter of electrostatics, the some important points is depends upon that concept. So what is mean by potential energy? Okay, so according to this, let's again discuss what is actual potential energy according to this. Imagine that this Q be the positive charge and they place at the origin O on free space. Imagine that this is a positive charge and at a far distance. Okay, so imagine that this distance will be denoted by R1. This is initial distance right now. This is the initial distance. At the point of A, imagine that their unit positive charge will be present. This is unit positive charge and they present at the point of A. Actually we know that there are two positive charges. Okay, and these two positive charges is situated at the separated distance r from each other. R1 is the initial distance from origin to A. Get clear? And as per Coulomb's law, we know that very well these two positive charges, it means like charges, are repelled together. It means that electrostatic force will be present in the given direction. Okay, this is the electrostatic force. So this unit positive charge will be reflected here. Right now, it will be moving in outward direction. But when they moving in outward direction, exactly at the same time, now the performing work, it will be moving and they will be reaches here. They performing work exactly opposite to the electrostatic force, and they will be reaches here at the final point B. So this is unit positive charge. Get clear? And they reaches at the final distance R2 from origin. It means that the unit positive charge is moving from initial position to final. It means A to B, and their distance will be denoted by R1 to R2. Get clear? When this unit positive charge will moving from R1 to R2, so work has to be done, and we are observe the same, this work done against the electrostatic force. Actually, the object will be displaced here. Their displacement will be denoted by this. This distance is displacement. Okay, this is the displacement right now. This is the total displacement of the object when they moving from A to B. Get clear? It is total displacement. Get clear? And see here, this is the direction of displacement. And this is the direction of electrostatic force. When this unit positive charge will shifted from A to B, now their work has to be done, but against the electrostatic force. Okay? So this concept is called potential energy. Now simply Q0 will be moving from A to B, the energy will be restored because their electrostatic force, through the electrostatic force, this charge will be repelled. But when they repelled, so they performing work. After that, they performing work against the electrostatic force and they moving from A to B. Get clear? It is very easy and simple concept. Now simply potential energy is the exact opposite work to the electrostatic force. It means that the electric potential energy, see the concept, electric potential energy, okay, electric potential energy is the work, simply is the work against the electrostatic force. Okay, the same definition will be here. Electric potential energy is the work against the electrostatic force is equal to the change in potential energy, is equal to the increasing potential energy, otherwise change in potential energy. It means that the work is necessary. Okay, and imagine that this work done will be here. The work is necessary and this work done will be denoted by dW is equal to, okay, the total work done. Let's see, when the object will be moving from A to B, imagine that their displacement will be denoted by dr. Dr is the displacement, and this displacement, see, this is the direction of displacement, okay, and this is the direction of force. So work done is equal to the force into displacement, and this is denoted by force here. Okay, so this is electrostatic force into the displacement will be denoted by dr. Get clear? So this is total work done, and this work done is exactly equal to the change in potential energy, increase in potential energy, and this potential energy will be denoted by du. Okay, so du is equal to, because this work done is restored in the form of energy, and this energy is called potential energy. So u is represents the potential energy. So potential energy is equal to the force, electrostatic force into their displacement dr. Get clear? So this is the concept of electric potential and the potential energy. Get clear? So what is mean by potential and what is the electric potential energy? Actually, according to this concept, it is only clear that what is potential energy, what is electrostatic potential energy, but the concept is only electric potential. Actually, electric potential and potential energy both are different terms. Get clear? And the difference between two we are definitely discuss according to our next point. Okay, but then before we are discuss what is the expression for potential energy. Get clear? So when we get the knowledge of electrostatics potential energy, so we find out the expression for potential energy. Get clear? So we can rub this. The next concept, expression for potential energy. Okay, the expression for potential energy. So what is the expression for potential energy? Because we know that potential energy is the work against the electrostatics force. This concept is very clear. Potential energy, electrostatics potential energy is the work, and the work is very essential when we discuss about potential energy, and this work done is restored in the form of energy, and this energy is called potential energy. And the simple concept, electrostatics potential energy is the work against the electrostatics force. Okay, so let's discuss the expression for potential energy. What is the expression for potential energy? Okay, but then before, just imagine that we get the concept of potential energy, and with the help of this we find out their expression. So imagine that Q be the positive charge. Okay, Q be the any positive charge, and they present in the free space. Their origin will be denoted by O. This positive charge is present at the point O in free space. Imagine that. And let's consider one another point. There one another charge like unit positive charge, and this is denoted by Q naught. So Q naught is the unit positive charge, and initially these two charges, these positive charges, are situated at the separated distance R1. Okay, R1 from each other. So R1 is the distance between two charges. Get clear? And this charge initially they present at the point A. A be the initial position of unit positive charge. Actually both are positive charge. Through the electrostatics force, it is very clear these two charges are repelled together. But this is a unit positive charge. This is very small. They do not produce any effect for this charge right now. That's why electrostatics force is always present in the given direction. So this is the direction of electrostatics force. It is very essential. See, this is the direction of electrostatics force. So after that, what happened? Now this positive charge, unit positive charge, will moving from A to B. Imagine that their final point will be denoted by here B. So B is the final position of the unit positive charge. When this unit positive charge will be moving and reaches here, now simply they performing work exactly opposite to the electrostatics force. Actually through the electrostatics force it will be reflected, but when they reflected, now they performing exactly work against the electrostatic force, and they moving from initial position A to final position B, and they will be here at the distance R2. This is final displacement. Okay, this is the final distance from the origin like R2. So it means that this object A is moving from initial position A to B. So simply their displacement will change R1 to R2. When this particle, it means that unit positive charge will moving from R1 to R2. So simply the work has to be done, and this work done against the electrostatics force. And simply when the charge performing work against the electrostatics force, now their potential energy will be changed, because this work done is restored in the form of potential energy. So let's imagine that when this charge will be moving from A to B, so how many work has to be done? Okay, so with the help of this we find out the expression for potential energy. So first of all, it is very essential to need, so how many work has to be done when this charge will be moving from A to B. So this work done we are determined, and with the help of this we find out the expression for potential energy. So when we find out the total work done from A to B, the distance R1 to R2, now simply imagine that a very smallest particle. Imagine that the very small distance R, dr. Dr be the very small displacement. Okay, so first of all, initially we find out the work done due to the very small distance dr. Right now, and then after we find out the total work done from A to B. So what is the total work done when the initial object will be moving from A to B? So simply we are determined through the smallest displacement. First of all, we are calculated the work done due to the very small distance dr. Actually, this work done will be denoted by dw. This is very small work done, and this work done is equal to the electrostatic force will be here. This is force, and the displacement will be denoted by dr. Dr with a very small displacement. And we know that this work, force into displacement, is called work. Okay, this work done is restored in the form of energy, and we know that this energy is called electrostatic potential energy. So this electrostatic potential energy is the electrostatic force into their displacement dr. Get clear? But this expression we can write here. See, we can write here, it is very essential, minus electrostatic force. Okay, there is no direction. This is the magnitude. Okay, so electrostatic force into displacement. Why we write their negative sign? Because this negative sign indicates that this work against the electrostatic force, their displacement dr against the electrostatic force. See, the displacement is in the given direction. The charge will be moving from A to B. This is the direction of displacement, and see, this is the direction of force. So displacement is against the electrostatic force. It means that the displacement and force is exactly opposite. So this is denoted by the negative sign. Get clear? Negative sign only indicates the work against the electrostatic force. It means displacement against the electrostatic force. Get clear? So this is the very small amount of change in potential energy due to the displacement dr. But what is the total change in potential energy when the unit positive charge will moving from A to B? What is the total change in potential energy? So simply integrating this equation, this is also change in potential energy due to the very small element, due to the very small distance. But what is the total change in potential energy when this unit positive charge is moving from A to B? Now it is very easy to integrate this equation due to the distance r1 to r2. Initial distance r1 and final distance r2. It means that object will be moving from A to B. So simply integrating this equation. Okay. So integrating this equation. Integrating this equation from r1 to r2. Their limit is r1 to r2. So r1 is the initial distance and r2 is the final distance. Simply we find out the total work done when they moving from A to B. Let's see. The total change in potential energy will be denoted by delta U. So that is total increase in potential energy, total change in potential energy. So this is equal to the integrating value of r1 to r2. It means that the object will be moving from A to B. Okay, the total change in potential energy from R1 to R2, and this is denoted by delta U. Get clear? But what is the value of du? So we find out their value. So this is equal to the integration of R1 to R2. So this is negative F electrostatic force into their displacement dr. Get clear? So this what EF, that is electrostatic force. Okay, let's see here where this Fe is called electrostatics force. Okay, and what is the exact value of electrostatics force? The value of electrostatics force we are already determined by using the concept of Coulomb's law. What is the concept of Coulomb's law? Now we know the concept of Coulomb's law. With the help of this, we find out the electrostatics force right now by using the definition of Coulomb's law, and this concept will be denoted by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 divided by r square. Get clear? This is the concept of electrostatics force. So you get the knowledge. This is the concept of electrostatics force. There we are given two charges, Q1 and Q2 right now. But here we are given two charges like capital Q and small q. So capital Q and small q, there are two different charges like Q1 and Q2. So as per this diagram, so what is the expression for electrostatics force? Now electrostatic force we are given here, the electrostatic force is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into the first charge will be denoted by capital Q, second charge that is unit positive charge Q naught, and divided by the distance. Okay, the total distance will be denoted by r square. Right now, so initial distance r1 and final distance r2, so their change in distance, total distance from A to will be denoted by r. Get clear? So this is the electrostatic force. Okay, so put their value of electrostatic force from equation number 1. So we get the change in potential energy. But then before, let's see here, we know that actually this electrostatic force is against the displacement. Displacement is exactly opposite to the electrostatic force. So that's why we can represent here negative sign, and we can write here r cap. So why we can write here r cap? So r cap is the unit vector, and you know that unit vector represents the direction right now. So if this unit vector will be neglected, so this minus sign is always cancel, because this unit vector represent direction, and according to the direction we know that this electrostatic force and displacement is exactly opposite. Get clear? They only represents the direction. This is unit vector. So put this value, okay, this value of Coulomb's force, call equation number 2, and put this value of electrostatic force from this equation number 1. So we find out the change in potential energy. So change in potential energy is equal to, let's see here, integrating value of R1 to R2. So negative sign here, okay, see this is negative sign. Okay, this negative sign is here. Fe, what is the value of Fe? So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into capital Q, Q naught divided by r square, or into this dr. Okay, so we cannot get the minus sign here because this r vector is also cancel here. So r vector get cancelled, so minus sign is also cancelled, because this is indicate only direction. So this is the integrating value. But actually we know that this value of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, okay, this value of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is the constant K right now in free space. Q and Q naught, Q is the positive charge, Q naught is the unit positive charge, their value of charge is also fixed. It means that the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is constant, Q and Q naught is also constant, so constant get outside the integrating value. So it means that we get the change in potential energy is equal to, let's see, the common factors are here, minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into capital Q, and Q naught will be constant, get outside. And in the integrating value are remaining integration from R1 to R2, 1 upon r square into dr get remaining. Okay, so let's find out the integrating value. The change in potential energy is equal to the minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into capital Q into small q, the integrating value of r1 to r2. So take their reciprocal, so we get r raised to minus 2. Okay, the reciprocal r raised to minus 2 into dr, and easily we find out the integrating value for the given equation. Right now, let's see here. So therefore, their change in potential energy is equal to the negative sign of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q naught. Okay, see their integrating value. So their integrating value we are find out here, r raised to minus 2 plus 1 and whole divided by minus 2 plus 1. Okay, and their limiting value get r1 to r2. So why we can write this? This is the standard equation of integration. You know that the integration x into dx, x square into dx, x cube, any value. So their formula, their standard form we can write here, x raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. C is the integrating constant. Okay, so n is the number of power there. Okay, n is the number of power in the function. So x is any one function. So it means that here we can write x raised to power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1, that is x cube divided by 3. Get clear? As same as here, what is the power of r square? Minus 2. So minus 2 plus 1, n plus 1. Minus 2 plus 1 divided by n plus 1, it means minus 2 plus 1. Get clear? So it means that we can write the same expression for change in potential energy du. This is equal to the negative of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q naught. Let's see here, their integrating value of minus 2 plus 1, let's minus 1, r minus 1, and what is divided by minus 1. So their integrating value r1 to r2. Now this r raised to minus 1 is present in numerator. So take in denominator. So what we get? Simply we get du is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q naught. Let's see here, negative of 1 divided by what? R. Take that numerator. So numerator to denominator, so the sign get changed. R raised to plus 1 here right now, and this is the limit r1 to r2. So what happened after that? Put the limiting values. Okay, it is very easy to put their limiting values. Now let's see here, we can find out the change in potential energy. So their change in potential energy is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q naught into, let's see here, the first limiting value r2 and second limiting value, final limiting value r2 and initial r1. So put in this equation. So we find out minus, okay, so minus, actually when we put their limiting value, the negative sign get outside, but just okay. So 1 upon r2, second limit, minus 1 upon r1. You know that this step of integrating, the same concept will be here. The final limit and initial limit we can put here. Okay, so after that it is very essential. So this negative sign get cancelled here. So their change in potential energy is equal to, so q into q naught divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. So this is the expression for the change in potential energy. Okay, this is the expression for the total change in potential energy when the unit positive charge will moving from A to B. It means that R1 to R2. Get clear? So this is the expression for potential energy. So very simple concept. First of all, we find out the very small distance dr, their work done. So simply we find out the very small amount of change in potential energy, and same integrating this equation from R1 to R2, and finally we find out the total change in potential energy from initial position to final position when the object will moving from A to B. So their change in potential energy du is equal to q naught divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. Clear? Okay, but just imagine that. Let's see, it is again essential. Imagine this is positive charge q. Okay, and imagine that this unit positive charge q naught is present at the infinite distance. At an infinite distance, very long, very far, the q naught unit positive charge will be present. So it means that their initial distance r1 is equal to infinity. Okay, their initial distance r1 is equal to infinity. Get clear? So their initial distance, and this is point A, and imagine that then after they will be moving and reaches here. Okay, they will be reaches here at the point of B. Okay, so simply their final distance will be denoted by r2 is equal to r. R2 is equal to r. So what is their change in potential energy? When the unit positive charge will shifted from infinite distance to present location. Infinity to present location. Okay, let's imagine that this is very far q naught and this is positive charge. At an infinite distance they will be shifted and it will be reaches here. Finite distance to present location. So what is the total amount of change in potential energy? Okay, according to this it is very clear that r1 initial distance is infinite and the final distance is r. So what is their change in potential energy? So simply their change in potential energy is equal to, so q into q naught divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, okay, into 1 upon r2. R2 is called r minus 1 upon r1, and we know that r1 is the infinity, and we know that 1 upon infinity is 0. Okay, so it means that the change in potential energy is equal to q naught divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r. Get clear? Okay, and if we consider these two charges, like, okay, let's see here, if we consider there are two charges, and these two charges will be denoted by q1, and imagine that this is q2. So simply the expression of change in potential energy will be denoted by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into, so first charge q1 and second q2, so simply q1 q2 and divided by r. Let's clear. So this is the expression for the change in potential energy when the object will shifted from infinite to present location, infinity to present location. Their change in potential energy is du is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 divided by r. Get clear? And when the object will moving from r1 to r2, so their change in potential energy will be here, du is equal to q naught divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. So clear? I hope to understand. This is very easy and simple concept. Okay, so let's discuss the unit of potential energy, the concept of unit of potential energy. So first of all, we can rub this. Potential energy. Unit of potential energy. Let's see. Actually, we know that potential energy. What is the SI unit of energy? So we know that the SI unit of potential energy is joule. Okay, the SI unit of potential energy is joule. Get clear? But let's see. Imagine that this is q charge. Okay, and their unit positive charge will be here. See here, when this unit positive charge will be moving and reaches here, so work has to be done, and this work done is restored in the form of potential energy. Okay, so this work done is restored in the form of potential energy if this moving charge having a charge of 1 coulomb. This is a moving charge and they becomes at rest right now because this is a unit charge. So unit charge, unit positive charge, okay, so their charge is 1 coulomb, and when they will be moving and reaches here, so work has to be done. So simply this work done is restored in the form of potential energy, and when they reaches here, so their potential difference will be denoted by 1 volt. Okay, their potential difference will be denoted by 1 volt. If the moving charge having charge 1 coulomb and if their potential difference is 1 volt, the total restored energy in the given charge, the total restored energy in the given charge is 1 joule. Okay, the total restored energy in the given charge is 1 joule. So 1 joule is the total restored energy for the charge. Their charge is 1 coulomb and if the potential difference between two is 1 volt. So their restored energy is 1 joule. Get clear? So what is the value of 1 joule? If the moving charge having charge 1 coulomb and if the potential difference between two is 1 volt. Now the restored energy is 1 joule. The one another convenient unit of potential energy is used, and this is electron volt. Okay, electron volt is the one another convenient unit for the measurement of electrostatics potential energy. Okay, but what is the value of 1 electron volt? The value of 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19th joule. Okay, so this is the value of 1 electron volt. So what is the value of 1 milli electron volt? Their value of 1 milli electron volt, milli means what? 10 raised to power minus 3. Okay, the conversion factor, you know, 10 raised to power minus 3 is the milli. Electron volt 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19th joule. So it means that the value of 1 milli electron volt is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 and minus 3, that is minus 22 joule. Clear? So as same as what is the value of 1 kilo electron volt? 1 kilo electron volt, and we know that kilo for 10 raised to power 3. Okay, so into electron volt 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19th joule. So it means that 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 plus 3, that is minus 16th joule. This is the value of 1 kilo electron volt. Okay, this is 1 milli electron volt and this is 1 electron volt. Get clear? I hope to understand the concept of potential energy. Okay, so we can stop here.